Hi, everybody. I'm Pete Krupski, the voice of USA Hockey's National Team Development Program. You're watching CTV Sports. Coming up next on CTV, it's the Sports Guys with our good friends Steve, Chuck, and Rod. Don't miss it.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to Sports Guys for the week of March 10th, 2025. I'm Chris Shiggins, along with Steve Bainey, Chuck Hiller, Rod Calgren. And we have a lot of news to get to, so we're going to get right to it this morning. Michigan State beat Michigan in the final game of the regular season for the Big Ten after Michigan State outright won the Big Ten regular season. Both Michigan and Michigan State have double byes in the upcoming Big Ten tournament this week, which means they don't play until Friday.
Maybe they can go to school for a change.
Oh, we'll see. Why would they do that? NBA
They're not going beyond 1 year anyway.
Yeah, right. Oakland Golden Grizzlies are looking to win the Horizon League this year. They're playing in the semis against Robert Morris tonight. We're taping this on Monday, so they're playing tonight. If they win against Robert Morris tonight, then later on in the week they will play for the Horizon League Championship, and the winner of that game will get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. And we'll get into college basketball in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Where are they playing tonight?
Indianapolis.
Okay,
The
they're
Horizon
there
tournament is in
too.
Indianapolis. Yep. They're playing at the wherever IU Indy.
Okay.
Where
they're
is
playing on their
Robert
campus.
Morris located?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, another one.
Not
Yep.
Punxsutawney.
Piscataway.
Punxsutawney.
Piscataway or Punxsutawney?
Piscataway.
Red Wings are playing themselves straight out of the playoffs. They've lost 5 straight. Again, we're taping this on Monday. They're playing Ottawa tonight. Hopefully they can get back to their winning ways, but the Red Wings are just doing what they've done the last 2 years and just playing themselves right out of the playoffs.
And interesting enough, Eiserman is getting some criticism.
Yeah, he's finally feeling the
You know,
heat on his feet.
He has kind of been above all of this
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
He's been the hero in Detroit, and now they just
they've
look
gotta
so
start-
poor.
They've been out of the playoffs for like 12 years now,
Yeah.
after basically being in the playoffs my entire life.
Yeah.
So it's time to step up and, Eiserman's feeling some heat. We'll get into that in a little bit. Pistons won last night on Sunday. They play Washington Tuesday and Thursday this week. It's really weird. Chuck and I were talking before we went on the air that it's weird they're playing Washington at home twice in
It just
back-to-back games.
does
It's
not
just
make
weird.
sense.
Weird scheduling. Detroit City Football Club, the soccer team, defeated Miami FC over the weekend. They were on the road and they beat Miami FC 2-0, and that's in the start of their regular season in the United Soccer League.
Where do they play?
They play in Hamtramck.
Okay,
Hamtramck's high
the
school.
old stadium there.
The old stadium.
Okay,
They spent
yeah.
millions of dollars renovating that, and then they actually, in 2 or 3 years, they're building a new stadium in Corktown. So
Oh, nice.
Wow.
that too.
There you go.
can, get into
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Tigers are wrapping up camp in the next 2 weeks, and we've got questions upon questions upon questions. We've got outfield questions. We've got infield questions. Will Javi Baez travel north to Comerica Park and play in the? We just don't know yet.
They have.
He looked decent, but it's spring training, and you're playing against
Right.
double-A pitching, so
But some very positive things have been
Oh,
said
for sure.
about the Tigers. So
yeah,
Hopefully.
they
Yeah.
have the number 1 farm system
Yes.
in Major League Baseball, according to some blog
Obscure.
or
Somebody.
something. It might have been Sports Illustrated. I'm not
We'll
sure.
take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
I'll take the win. And then in NASCAR, Christopher Bell wins his 3rd straight.
Ooh.
He beat out Denny Hamlin by the 2nd tightest race in Phoenix Cup history, which I'm sure Chuck will get into
Oh yeah.
in a few minutes. And then in golf news, Russell Henley, who I've never heard of, won the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard over the weekend.
You haven't heard of Russell Henley?
No.
I don't follow golf as much as you do, Rob.
There you go.
Won 5 tournaments.
Yeah, but
I was
over
gonna say,
how
nobody
long a
follows
time?
golf
What's it,
as much
10
as
years?
Rod.
Right, well, he's 35.
Yeah.
But before we get to any of that, we'll go to Steve, and he'll give us an update on some of what's going on in college basketball.
There you go. We got the ladies. The ladies were fired up. They were having the tournament champion after USC won the outright champion in the Big Ten. They had the Big Ten tournament, and UCLA beat USC, so
Yeah.
they took the tournament champion.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, this is the Big Ten we're talking about, right?
Big Ten.
Huh. USC.
When
There is
you
no
talk
more
about
Pac-10. There is no
UCLA
Big
and
Ten.
Pac-10's
USC,
been
you
buried.
never know.
You know, but yeah, so now they figure that UCLA and USC are both going to be #1 seeds,
Oh.
along with 2 SEC teams,
Oh
both
my
#1
gosh.
seeds. So SEC has got plenty of people and all that kind of good stuff. And we got, let's see, the Michigan State, of course, won the outright championship. And, of course, they pounded Michigan pretty good, 79-62. And in out-of-town stuff, Duke took the outright ACC championship, and Auburn lost to Alabama.
Auburn lost.
There you go, #1 team.
Was that Texas A&M?
No, they lost to Alabama,
Oh,
93-91.
Oh.
Yeah, tight game going down the stretch. And like I say, the Pistons looked pretty good the other night against Golden State. They lost, though, 110-115. But then they came back against the Trailblazers yesterday, 119-112. So they're still on the roller coaster a little bit. But, of course, the Wings, like I say, they're just struggling
Yeah,
right and left. And they got a record of 30-27, so they're still on the positive side. So we got to cross our fingers and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to say about the Wings. They're playing without heart lately. It seems like.
Oh, just.
Seems like whatever bump they got from the new coach, just kind of we've settled back down into normal, and normal, unfortunately, isn't
Good.
what it used to be. Yeah, you said it, not me, but yes,
Oh.
it's not good. And like Rod said, Steve Yzerman is starting to feel the coals underneath his feet here. I'm sure Sports Talk Radio this week is not going to be kind to him. So Chuck, I watched most of the race yesterday, and Christopher Bell just took those tires to task. The red label tires were quite the hit.
But when you get a lot of rubber on the surface itself with those real soft tires, they tend to heat up once they strike the asphalt. And that's good to have a good hot tire. However, it got too hot, and of course we had one case where the darn wheel was just melted right into the axle, and they could not get that off, the left rear.
Huh.
And that's the one that's pulling it all the way. This is a flat track in Phoenix. This is the place where there's a big hill about 150 yards outside of the one straightaway. And that hill used to have a lot of people up there. They could go up there and sit and watch the game for a couple of bucks. Now, the big thing is, this was known as Snake Hill. And a few days before the event, people would go up there and get the rattlesnakes out of the holes. They could not, I noticed they did not mention it at all yesterday, because this organization of Don't Mess with Wild Animals, PETA or something like that, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And they got involved in this, and they said, you can't take these rattlesnakes out of these holes.
Help
This
the
is their,
critters.
yeah, yeah, and so they didn't mention it at all. And they did show a few cars up there, but not like
No.
it used to. But it's a flat track, which means that the front tires go, and the rears are expected to what? To slide around, right?
Oh.
Yeah. But if they don't slide around, one has troubles. And that's where the thing came in at. They did have 2 sets of a very special tire, very unusual, showing that it had stripes all the way around on the rubber, the yellow stripes. So you knew that they were on these very special tires. However, they tried to use them at about 3/4 of the way through, and therefore at the end they had to go back to their medium tires, and they didn't work so well. They did. By then, so much rubber on the track, and the tire wasn't quite down on the ground anymore, and we had a little problem there. But a fine race, nobody got injured. There's just enough action of biggity bangs that people loved it. And
They talked
and-
a lot about the soft tire.
oh
Yeah, it
yeah,
was-
well I had
Yeah.
I never run into that before, that they would allow these 2 sets of those.
Yeah.
Well, they did it for the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro last year, where they had. But this is the first time Goodyear has done anything like this for a points race. And the soft tire, what they're trying to do is come up with a composition of the right materials for the championship race in Phoenix, which is in November.
Oh,
So that's why they had. And they're doing testing today on Monday with what did they say? An even softer tire.
oh,
And their hope is to find a middle ground to have a composite tire made for the
Beautiful.
championship race in
Beautiful.
November. Because the track in Phoenix is just different than some of the other tracks they go to.
it's a
and
flat
it
track,
needed
and
some-
there's none of this.
Well,
going on.
all of this is promotion for their
Sure.
tire business.
well, and that's what they said.
and trying to promote, and the consumer says, "Oh, I want that. I want Goodyear. I
Right,
want
right.
Well, yeah, that
Whatever,
Goodyear has
yeah.
exclusive right.
sure,
Well,
Yeah, there's no other tires in there.
yeah."
And that was the point they were making on the broadcast yesterday was you want a tire to be soft enough that it works for the race car, but you don't want it too soft because you don't want millions of people to see your tire rubbing off and falling apart on the broadcast on the air to say, why would I buy Goodyear if it's just going to fall off the car? So
I mean,
they're
35
blind.
laps, and that was it, baby.
yeah, they've got to find the happy medium there. They ride that line, that very fine line. But yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed watching it yesterday. And then in golf, like we said, Russell Henley, who apparently is famous, and I didn't know, won the Arnold Palmer. So what you got in golf?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's famous, but he's 35. He's from Macon, Georgia.
Oh,
He went to the University of Georgia and played golf there. He's been up and down as a lot of these so-called no-names have been in the last several months. But this was his 5th win. He hasn't won anything since 2020.
Oh.
I think that was, and there was a period there where he won maybe one tournament a year for 3 or 4 years. So,
but you said 35. You spoke as if 35 is on your way out in golf. I thought you
I
could
would
go
think.
50, 60.
oh, you can.
But that's the seniors.
But you know, when you're talking age, you know, there's a bunch of almost teenagers out there that
Yeah,
are,
I noticed.
that are coming in. So 35 is not elderly.
It's double the age of
Getting
some
up
of the
there
But
others.
in
it's,
any sport.
it's-
Yeah.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
So you know, there. Scheffler was in this one, and there was several others.
He beat
that-
Scheffler?
yeah.
Wow.
So it was played at it's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. It's played on Arnie's course, Bay Hill,
There you go.
which is a tough course, and particularly the last few holes where there's quite a bit of water. and
I love it.
and some huge greens, so that as you come into 17 or 18, you can easily have a 60-foot putt.
Wow.
And so putting makes quite a difference. And Colin Morikawa was leading after the third round and was right in there, but they got in, and I think it was the 15th hole, Henley chipped one in from off the green for an eagle,
Oh,
and
oh.
that kind of flipped him into the lead, and he won. But this week, of course, is the Players Tournament. That's the one that's played over at Ponte Vedra, where they have the 17th hole. That's the island.
Oh,
green.
yeah.
That's what has made that particular tournament so interesting, because it's a short hole, but where the green is kind of slopey, and where they put the pin can really make a difference on whether you're in the water or on the green, and it's interesting because it's called the Players Tournament. There are 144 players in the field. That's a big field. Tiger Woods has decided not to play in it, and a lot of the players play in it based on their performance in previous majors, and Tiger's performance in the majors has not been very good, so he's decided to miss that. The Bay Hill tournament that Henley won had a $20 million purse. I'm not sure what the players' purse is, but it's bigger than that. It's one of the, outside of the majors, it's probably the biggest tournament. So,
Do players have to pay to get into it? Is there an entrance fee for them?
oh, I think there's an
I was
entrance
just
fee
wondering.
for most.
I don't know
of
what it is, but yeah.
No, I was just wondering, is there a fee? Yeah.
$25 million is the purse for the Players Championship. Or no, I'm sorry.
Scotty Scheffler has won it the last 2 times, and he's going to be attempting to become the first 3-time winner since Jack Nicklaus won it back in the 70s. So it's usually a pretty interesting tournament. The 16th is a par 5
Oh my God.
that is reachable, but you got to be very careful because the green's right next to the water, and if you're a little
Strong.
strong or iffy, you can be in the water. So that's, but it is an interesting tournament. There's some interesting tennis news. The Indian Wells, California, is kind of a tennis hub in the United States, probably second to the Forest Hills U.S. Open area. And Arena Sabalenka, who's the #1 woman in the tournament, has just been playing at Indian Wells and was commenting. In fact, the paper said she was swooning over the new surface that they put in at Indian Wells.
Must be good.
It's a fast surface, but it's a hard surface. And of course, the Forest Hills is hard.
Is it clay then? Is that what
No, it's let's see,
It's composite.
it's a composite, but like again,
Wow.
it's called Laykold, Laykold.
It's composite. It's
Yeah.
whatever the brand of.
Yeah, yeah.
Brand
It's like
of-
AstroTurf isn't really AstroTurf. It's
Which
just
is-
the name.
and they provide surfaces for the Miami Open and the U.S. Open. So they're trying to get more consistency in the surfaces. So it'll be interesting to see if this changes anything as they go along in the hard court.
And a couple more notes on college basketball. I pulled up the, I don't know if you've heard of Ken Pom. He's the guru for CBS who does all of the mathematics and figures out all the equations. And he has Duke, Auburn, Houston, and Florida right now as the top seeds after yesterday's play in March Madness. So we'll look forward to that. Michigan State is number 8 in his rankings, so that means they will probably get a number 2 seed. Michigan is all the way down at number 28, so they'll be a higher seed than we would like. Ohio State is 34th, so go figure. Michigan beating Ohio State again. A couple other notes of news and notes. Ilitch Holdings announced a deal with Fox 2 in Detroit. They're going to air about 10 Tiger games this summer. And as part of that rights package, they have also they're going to put 5 or 6 Red Wings games the rest of this season on Fox 2 in Detroit, so stay tuned for that schedule. I'll post it out on the bulletin board out here by the CTV studio, so you can check it out there. But so more options now for you to watch local sports here at Alegria Village. And on today, on Monday, and then again on Wednesday, and then next Monday and next Wednesday, we will have spring training baseball in Windows Cafe. So come out and watch the Tigers on the big screen there. And then coming up, their opening game later on in the month, we will have a big party in the St. Clair Clubhouse. Kristen and I will be there. We hope you'll join us for an opening night party when the Tigers take on the Dodgers.
Good.
We have anything else going on?
No.
Well, they say
Some interesting things. We talk about money and how it seems to run things. Well, the Buffalo Bills gave Josh Allen, their quarterback, a new 6-year deal. $250 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Oh.
Must be nice.
$330 million for the total. The
Wow.
largest guaranteed money in NFL history.
And on that sickening note, that's it for Sports Guys for the week of March 10th. Make sure you join us next week after Selection Sunday. We will have an extended edition with some of our March Madness picks. So make sure you join us then, and we will see you around the village. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pete Krupski, the voice of USA Hockey's National Team Development Program. You're watching CTV Sports.